Now I want to dive into tailoring communication to, different stakeholders. As we look at the different executives that a CISO interfaces with, the first one that comes to mind is the CFO, right? As we're building a security program, we're going to need funds. We're going to, it directly affects the bottom line. In some clients, we may have defined budgets, and in others, we might be trying to convince them that they need to spend money on security. And so ultimately, with each executive, one skill and one communication that we need to do is we need to tailor, that risk conversation and, that business support conversation to the stakeholder. So, in my vCISO practice, looking at a CFO, a lot of CFOs are going to want to look at numbers, charts, trends. They're very analytical. Whereas if I'm communicating the same thing to a CEO, it might be bullet points on a slide. So being able to tailor that message is critical in performing the CISO role and the vCISO is ensuring that each person or each stakeholder that you're working with, that you can communicate and show that value in the realm of business that they understand. So if I'm working with a legal team, we're communicating about the costs of non-compliance. We're looking at fines, things like that. With the CFO, it might be, it's dollar value, discussion. So, if we had a breach and there were, everything is based on number of records, so we can quantify, based on the amount of data that the company's holding, here's the estimated, value or loss to the company. And so as we tailor these messages, it's in the areas of influence of the stakeholders that we're talking to. So, I want to also throw in HR. So HR professionals, they're about employee safety, privacy. So, as we're discussing risk, typically with HR, we're discussing things like, background checks, things like that, very sensitive topics. And so, communicating how, these security, controls, whether it be policies or tools that we're putting in to monitor systems, that how it's going to affect the employee, right? How is it going to affect employee morale? How is it going to affect their workday, and then ultimately how is it going to keep the employee data private, and ensuring that there's a level of trust between HR and security. So, tailoring these your communication is crucial because each stakeholder has different goals, and being able to align security with each department, each leader's goals, um, goes back to making the business feel supported, and that security is an asset and is there to help everyone.